said we was too young. They said Oklahoma should have had a team. But guess what? We the fucking champ.
Gilgeous-Alexander on the drive, pulls back, baseline jumper's good. OKC with their first lead of the second half. Williams has been hot all night, falling away, got it. 40 points for Jalen Williams. 28 remaining. Holmgren down the lane. A Holmgren hammer, and it's back up to a dozen.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show, part of the Blue Wire. Proudly sponsored by Prairie Artisan Ale. I'm your host this Thursday evening, JD Silva, joined by a couple of fellas. We got Jacob Niffen on the show.
What's up?
We got TP on the show.
Almost back, boys. Tomorrow night.
We might have another fella joining us in a little bit. We will see. We will see. Plenty to talk about today with basketball resuming tonight and the Thunder coming back tomorrow. Before we get into that, though, be sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating. Check out our Patreon by scanning the QR code above my head or by clicking the link in the description of this podcast. Quick question for you both. Would you rather be a passenger in a car driven by a Georgia football player or LaMelo Ball?
Oh, that's good.
I guess I'm missing the context.
LaMelo Ball got into a filmed car accident, and he was driving a tricked out camo Hummer, and all the people were like, "How are we supposed to know it's LaMelo Ball?" And it's the most LaMelo.
It's got like Mellow all over it.
Yeah, like
his rim said 1 of 1.
And he ran into a Georgia football player.
No, just two additional college football or 2 additional Georgia football players yet again were arrested for reckless driving, which has been a theme over the past 5 years. So much so that I tweeted out today that I'm starting to wonder if this is like an initiation hazing thing over at Georgia. Like, you're not officially one of the bros until you get arrested for reckless driving. It's insane.
LaMelo famously almost kills fans every time he leaves the arena.
Yeah.
Peels out
in his Lambo.
Driving.
Then he got picked up in a Lambo after his Hummer or his Lambo truck, whatever it was. I'm not even sure what car it was. He wrecked and completely lost the front left wheel of the vehicle somehow.
Oh my gosh.
What a
flew off.
This feels like the most LaMelo Ball story I've ever heard.
The Hornets would be so easy to root for if just a couple of guys weren't on that team anymore. But
yeah,
two
two specific players.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Thunder, though. We got an injury update today. SGA and Ajay Mitchell, both out with abdominal strains, reevaluated in 1 week. I was personally hoping they'd be back tomorrow. They're going to be reevaluated in a week. J-Dub with the hamstring strain, reevaluated in 2 weeks. And as we know, that doesn't mean they're coming back when that happens. It just means we'll check in at that point. Initial thoughts on that update, Jacob?
It stinks because I wanted to watch him play too. Looking at the schedule, they have the Nets, the Cavs. That's going to be a tough game. At the Raptors, about a week from now is Wednesday against the Pistons. I would imagine if they're going to come back, it would be that Friday night game against the Nuggets at home. So trying to beat a really good Cavs team in the East and a really good Pistons team in the East and then a decent Raptors team, all without Shai, Dub, and AJ, is going to be a really tall task. This team is going to lose games, and that stinks. Then you continue to look out from that Friday Nuggets game. You have 1, 2, 3, about another 4 games. You're looking at early March for the return of J-Dub, which is also stinky.
Very. And now you're running out of a bit of time, which seems crazy that we're already to the part of the season, because I feel like the season just started. It's just been a big blur ever since the playoff run, championship run last year or last season. But yeah, like Jacob said, if you get Dub back to start March, I mean, we're talking 3 weeks really, and knock on wood, no reoccurring injury during that time frame to kind of get him back up to speed, get him back in the lineups, kind of find a groove before the playoffs start, and that's slightly concerning. Can't lie.
The 1 seed is to me, the 1 seed has been a foregone conclusion for a long, for the whole season. It's like, okay, Thunder are going to be the 1 seed, no big deal. But now I think the Spurs are 3 games back, and we just talked to Jacob. You just went through the next 4 games. They could go 1-3 in the next.
Could,
4.
yeah.
So
I still think they end with the 1 seed.
I think you're right. There's going to be enough games once the squad comes back, knock on wood, where they can secure that, because the Spurs haven't really shown they can win a bunch of games in a row. They're still a young team learning how to win all these games. So it sucks. This season has been defined by injuries. I didn't think it was going to be for the first.
Not just for the Thunder either. That's kind of the crazy part. We saw Steph Curry is going to be out. For I think he's going to be reevaluated the next 10 days due to, I can't remember what injury he has off the top of my head
or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that means.
And obviously that's a team that, for better or worse, still wants to try and compete. Obviously, we've seen a lot of injuries from teams wanting to shut it down. Not that those aren't real injuries, just they're deciding to proceed with the procedures now rather than after the season. But it just feels like a lot of those announcements have come now that the season is starting back up. And I find that interesting. It's not just the Thunder. I mean, we saw the Magic. Silva, I think you retweeted this or quote tweeted it yesterday. Yeah. With Franz Wagner now out an additional extended period. And they haven't gotten to see their team fully healthy for dating back to last season. So it's unfortunate. 2 thoughts on the current injury updates that we got today. One's kind of a fun aside, I guess if you want to call it that, a little what was it? Oh, Coach K was spotted at the local OKC Charleston's during the Thunder coaching search.
Yeah.
So for longtime listeners dating back to last season, for those of you that remember the Hank GPT reference, my friend Hank, him and his wife were pulling up to Whole Foods. I think it was Friday or Saturday during the All-Star break. And none other than Ajay Mitchell parked next to them and was walking into Whole Foods. And unfortunately, Hank texted me. He's a dude. AJ is not moving good. He was like, we didn't talk to him or anything. He had his headphones in. We weren't going to do that, but he is not moving good, which that was shortly after the Bucks game where Thunder Media went in, and obviously AJ was still out with the ab strain, but it later popped up on the injury report that he also had this left ankle sprain. That all leads me to believe that maybe this ankle sprain occurred as he was ramping up back trying to get back into gear and back to return to play. So that's pretty unfortunate if that's the case. Also, do we need to start having is AJ Mitchell injury prone conversation?
It has been.
That could be concerning long term
of something, but
still too early. But
it's gonna be making do with what they have. They still do have a deep team. We're doing an exercise the second half of this show where we're gonna walk through kind of the depth of the team and see who they can and cannot live without as the playoffs approach. So that'll be cool. Yeah, every podcast episode I listen to now that's dealing with talking about the award season starts it out with, well, let's see who's eligible. And that's even eligible for awards now. And that just sucks for the league in general. That's a bigger issue to me than all this tanking stuff. I'm sure you saw the Shams tweet of Adam Silver's going to be making changes in the offseason to tanking. And I didn't like any of the ideas that they proposed.
Some of them were interesting.
The top 4 protection or lottery protection thing I thought was interesting. But
yeah, I mean, there was the one that was flattening out the entire lottery.
That's crazy.
Was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can read them really quick. There's not that many.
Yeah, go through them.
So these are proposed changes. Shams Surrounded tweeted this out that Adam Silver, Adam's been on Twitter, listened to all the haters about tanking. I don't personally think tanking is that big of a deal, but
he's been listening to the betting sites that are large revenue sources for the league.
Here are the proposed
who are upset about tanking
that they're going to discuss in the summer. First option, first round picks can be protected only top 4 or top 14. So top 4 or lottery. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
I don't hate that as much. Next one, lottery odds.
So why would that? Hold on. Why I guess I don't understand that one. Like, so you're saying you can't like top 2 protect? You can only top 4
only
protect?
top 4 lottery
Right.
is how
I don't think that's going to make much of a difference.
I don't think so.
I don't see. You're not going to tank if you're trading away your pick. And
Right.
if you're trading away your pick and it's top 4 protected, you're going to tank really, really hard. So you get. So I don't.
Like,
that
how
one
would that
confuses
affect
me.
the Jazz situation this year? Because the Jazz owe their pick.
Or Indiana. Indiana owes their pick unless it's top 4. So they're going to tank hard to get it top 4.
Right. It almost feels like it was in response to the Zubac trade to Indiana.
It's inverse. Yeah, it's inverse.
Right. It does make sense to me. I don't agree.
Next one, lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or a later date. Wouldn't that just incentivize tanking earlier in the season?
And then make it more competitive later?
Later?
Yeah.
When people aren't watching football anymore? Like, that's...
Yeah.
Because this is hate month in the NBA. Like, if the tanking is already... If the lottery odds are already locked in before hate month starts, maybe there's a psychological aspect there that went...
Yeah. And I guess what that
issue.
would technically fix is like the teams like the Wizards trading for Anthony Davis, deciding to play him and Trae Young, or Triple J again. Like, I hope his issue isn't serious, but if I don't know, if that were a procedure that could have been pushed to the offseason, maybe you decide to play Triple J through the rest of the season, then he gets that procedure in the offseason. Maybe it makes teams like the Kings to wait for Sabonis or Zach LaVine to be able to get those procedures done in the offseason. That's kind of what I'm thinking of where they're getting at with that one. But
yeah,
again, I'm not sure that cures tanking.
Yeah.
No. Next one, no longer allowing a team to pick top 4 in consecutive years and or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes. So that didn't the Spurs do that? Didn't the Rockets do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Rockets haven't really benefited from that in a huge way.
Spurs have.
But there was a gap.
Did Spurs do it 3 years in a row?
One of theirs. So
Wemby, Castle.
What was Castle
Jr.?
4? Wasn't Castle 4?
But that's top 4.
Oh, top 4.
Top 4, yeah.
Yep. I was thinking top 3 in my head. Yeah.
Wemby, Harper, Castle.
Yep. So what would happen? So would they just be stuck to 5th or the best pick they can get in that scenario?
Probably wherever their slot. Yeah, 5th would be the best. Even if you had the worst record, 5th would be the absolute best because it'd bump you out of the lottery. Like, you wouldn't get lottery balls.
Right.
I'd imagine the report. I wonder if there would be like the lottery balls come out and that team gets the number 1 pick, but because then it gets kicked back to 5th. Imagine being in the room with the lottery balls and your team wins.
Yeah.
But yeah. What is a little weird is or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes. I feel like there's a lot of times the absolute worst teams have not been the most rewarded with the new flat odds.
Was it the past 5 seasons now that
like
the worst team in the rankings haven't they've fallen out of the top 4.
Yeah. So I don't like that one as much. Here's an interesting one. This one does feel targeted. Teams can't pick top 4 the year after making the conference finals.
Indiana.
And that's
hello.
That's
like
Golden State Warriors. Hello.
That's
right.
Like, I don't know. Like, Indiana, I feel like has been pretty honest with just being a bad team this year, and they've been without Howie.
And okay, so then that targets like 1 to 3 teams max this season from tanking, because who's like usually it's only one team that's in that scenario. The Indiana Pacers this year, the Warriors, like Jacob mentioned. Basically, if you're a championship contending team and then run into season-ending injuries, like, okay, we're talking
would
about
this stop
small
the Thunder from getting the Clippers pick? I don't think it would, right?
No,
no.
I don't know. I just can't think of many examples of this being an issue. You wouldn't have had Tim Duncan wouldn't have been drafted by the Spurs, I don't think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they? Yeah, like those are the scenarios you're dodging with that. So I don't know. Lottery odds allocated based on 2-year records.
I think that one's interesting.
So explain.
I don't mind that.
Wouldn't teams just tank really hard for 2 years in a row instead of one?
I guess so. But then I think there starts to become like an economic aspect to that too.
True.
If you're just pooping the bed every night, people aren't going to want to come over to the house.
Let's get to the 2-year L instead of the 1-year L. It's harder to.
And like we talked
and
so much
also
about,
it's like, do you want to tank really hard for 2 years just to have the third best odds and get bumped to 7th?
right?
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's not
it
like
doesn't really incentivize it as much. So if I get what you're saying, like, will it make them tank for longer? But it's like, do you really want to do this for multiple years?
And still not have the assurance of a top pick, to your point, Jacob. But also, like we've been talking about with all the discourse surrounding this season, it's a lot worse because this draft is really, really, really good and deep. And next year's isn't as great. And the year after that isn't as great.
Well, and that 2-year thing would be really interesting for like Indiana.
Right.
This upcoming draft, like tanking still doesn't get them where they want to be. Or that Golden State Warriors team. The tanking for that 1 year doesn't get them where they want to be. It almost
the gap year.
I get what you're saying. It incentivizes tanking for longer. I get that, JD. But I think it also ensures that the teams that are just god awful are getting the higher picks.
Yeah.
The problem is the teams that are god awful are ran so poorly that I don't know if getting a good I'm not trying to be like funny or like facetious or anything with this. Like, man, I have such respect for like Kings fans who show up to that arena like week in and week out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you've had one playoff run in the past, like 30 years or something, like not playoff run, playoff appearance. And like you look at what their team looks like this season, it's just like it's horrible. But this if you did the 2-year average is what gets you lottery balls. That at least helps teams out like the Kings to get a better draft pick. Because Lord, that team needs all they can get. But it's like that front office and that ownership could.
Yeah, you still got to build around that player.
They can. They would find a way to screw it up.
Yeah.
Right. Correct.
Yep. Yeah, you could give them 2 top picks in this draft, and they would still blow it somehow. It's unfortunate. And that would eliminate the gap year. Like teams that decide they're gonna have a gap year because something goes wrong. Like, that would not exist anymore. All right, 2 more. Lottery extended to include all play-in teams.
So that means if you're in the play-in, but you win the play-in and go to the playoffs, you're still in the lottery. So the lottery would expand to 16 teams instead of 18 teams instead of 14 teams.
Didn't someone mention that that all odds would be evened in that scenario as well?
That's the last one, right?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if
I'm combining the two.
I don't know how many of these are together or if these are meant to be implemented separately, or just do one. I don't know.
True.
Oh yeah, that's not all of them, but
all of them would be.
Smoothing the lottery entirely, just everyone's got a 5% chance.
That
sounds insane.
That would be.
I mean, you want to talk about a lottery?
That a true lottery system, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying to just think of scenarios where you would get like the Hornets this year, who could be a pretty damn good team. Like they're going to be almost playoff team, I think, by the end of the year. They could just randomly get the number 1 pick.
If you expanded it to lottery teams, not lottery teams, play-in teams, and then just flatten the odds completely. Teams like the Orlando Magic and the Phoenix Suns and the Portland Trailblazers and the Golden State Warriors. The Phoenix Suns at 32 and 23 could land the number 1 overall pick.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what the future Matt Ishbia wants. Did you see him tweeting like tanking losers, only losers tank? Loser. You're a loser. Do you have the sounder? Probably. Let's see.
Now.
Is that the Y sound?
That's one of our first ones.
No.
I only have
our OG sounders.
I only have
I don't even know
No,
where
no.
you're sitting at.
Oh no, loser was the it was a part of the tanking.
Oh, you're right.
Tanking
Yeah.
sounder we had.
I don't have the
tank
Oh,
meter.
no. I remember that though. I remember that.
Good times.
Yeah, fun times in the NBA. I'm excited to get back to talking about basketball and not referendums on the league as a whole. But you guys ready to move on to the old exercise that we're gonna do?
let's do some exercising.
Agreed. Let's just
Do you
hope
want
we
me
get
to
some
do you want
good
me to
news on the
explain the
Thunder players
exercise, JD?
soon.
Yes.
Okay, so we cooked up this idea in this untitled document on Google Docs. Silva couldn't even put a name on it. Ranking Thunder players. Look at that. We're going to do two things here. First, we are going to make a 1 through 15 list of the best players on the team. Just best player. Once we make that 1 through 15 list, for those of you listening to the podcast and not watching on YouTube, we will reiterate that list. We'll read it through for you. And then we're going to start at the lowest player on the list, and we're going to go through and we're going to ask one simple question as we go through the list. Can the Thunder win a title if this player is out for the playoffs? So obviously number one will be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and the answer would be no, they cannot win an NBA title if they do not have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But I think it's an interesting activity to see at what point do we feel like the team is kind of screwed, right?
And I love it and like tying this back to the conversation you all had on Sunday's podcast that I was not on, but y'all were asked about like Lou Dort versus iHeart versus Jared McCain versus Isaiah Joe.
Yeah.
I think this kind of puts this into a different perspective. It's not just like,
Absolutely.
okay, from a salary standpoint, you can move off Lou and re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein, but like this kind of, I think, shows why you would make certain moves over others. So I love that Jacob came up with it earlier in the week.
Thank you. We may change some of this as we move forward, but let's go ahead and make our list.
I wonder
So
who we're going to
number one is SGA.
Yeah.
Say it again.
I wonder who we're going to piss off just in our initial rankings here. Someone's going to get mad at
Yes. Well, let's bookend this. Let's go down to number 15, which would be Thomas Sorber.
Yep. Just because he's not touching the floor regardless this season.
Yep. Okay. So number 2.
I mean, it's J-Dub, right?
J-Dub.
Correct.
This is just ranking best players on the team.
And then it's Chet.
And then it's Chet.
4 is where it gets really fun. And I understand there's going to be people already talking about like, oh, you have J-Dub at 2? And it's like, he didn't look that great when he came back. Okay, well, we also saw how great he looked when he came back from the hamstring injury. His wrist looked better. It's obviously J-Dub and the impact he had, even with a hurt wrist there in the finals.
We're going to assume if the names on this list are going to be relatively healthy.
Yep.
Yes.
We're not assuming these are hindered versions of these players.
Able to play throughout the playoffs.
So
4 gets a little interesting. Like, who are our candidates at 4?
Hartenstein.
Lou Dort.
Caruso.
If
you want to get really spicy, Ajay Mitchell.
Yep. Cason Wallace.
I think this is probably, again, all we are doing here is ranking the best player.
Yeah, I'm thinking Hartenstein.
Hartenstein.
Now, the reason for me, and I'm curious your all's thoughts, but I think, and I mentioned this here a couple weeks ago, but I think an underrated aspect of that 24-1 run that the Thunder started out with this season was how great iHeart was playing and how healthy he was playing on both sides of the ball. And most importantly, the Thunder were able to play through him when J-Dub was out offensively, and his ability to be able to create, make some of those the playmaking that the Thunder desperately lacked at the guard position when Dub was out. Like, I think it was less so like incorporating J-Dub back when he didn't have a shot, and more so iHeart got hurt.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, number
All
5.
Right. Options at number 5. We got Lou Dort. We got AJ Mitchell. We've got Cason Wallace.
Caruso.
We've got Alex Caruso.
It's a pretty good basketball team.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really tough.
It is. This is where I wish I would have and it's probably better that I didn't, but I wish I would have pulled up impact stats for the season.
Yeah.
I want to go Caruso here.
I was thinking not Lou Dort.
I was thinking AJ Mitchell.
Yeah,
that was another option.
I was torn on that.
If it's which one of these guys is going to be most impactful in winning you game 5 of the finals, I'm going AC. But if it's best players on the team, who, if I'm another team, who do I want? I think it's AJ Mitchell.
Yeah. Who are you devoting the most attention to?
It probably is. In terms
of two-way impact and impact. We saw the Thunder win a championship without AJ.
Yeah.
Which is why, and then we saw how impactful Alex Caruso was guarding Jokic there in Game 7 of the
brother. You don't have to pitch me on Alex Caruso.
You're number one. You're founder of the AC fan club. I know. I'm trying to think it through.
No,
I'm torn as well.
Placement ultimately won't matter all that much when we're doing this, so I don't mind.
That's fair.
Since we've seen Caruso ball out in the playoffs before, I feel okay putting Caruso here, and we can put AJ at 6.
Sounds good.
I definitely think, it has to be 5 and 6 for either of them. Which means we're left now with the 2 point of attack defenders, Lou Dort and
might be Kaysen.
Might be
Kaysen.
I'm very torn.
The thing is that Lou's so much more versatile defensively.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kaysen's more consistent offensively because he can finish a layup.
Right.
It probably is.
I think it has to be. It has to be Lou, especially given what we saw.
It's crazy we're going to put Kaysen Wallace at 8 when he should be the starter to close the season.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kaysen Wallace. Okay. That feels like
crazy depth.
We've gotten the most difficult names out of the way, I think.
So we got to recap: 1 SGA, 2 J-Dub, 3 Chet Holmgren, 4 Isaiah Hartenstein, 5 Alex Caruso, 6 AJ Mitchell, 7 Lou Dort, 8 Kaysen Wallace. That means we have 9, 10, 11, 12. We got 6 players left. That would be Joe, Wiggins,
Kenny,
McCain, Kenrich Williams, J. Will, and Nikola Topic. I think we can go ahead and put Topic at 14, right?
Yes. Agreed.
Yep. Should we put McCain at 13?
Brother, I don't know.
I like Jared McCain a lot. He's only played 3 games for the Thunder.
Yes. Given where we are, yes. It would be pretty wild, though, if 3-4 months from now we're on this podcast and talking about, how more impactful
Jared McCain had 17 in game
over
2.
Isaiah Joe. Yes, exactly.
Sneakily, Jared McCain could be the next guy after AJ Mitchell to really pop as an individual.
Yeah,
creator.
Absolutely.
His defense, it will be picked on in the playoffs.
For what it's worth, I think number 9 is Aaron Wiggins.
I was gonna say the same.
Oh,
Joe's been on a heater.
Joe's been on a
I think it's Aaron Wiggins.
His ability to create. I think that's very fair.
I also am remembering what Isaiah Joe did in the playoffs last year, which was not a lot. So I'm just thinking of. I hope maybe he had something wrong with his hand. I don't know.
Yes, I think so.
So at 10, is 10 J. Will or is it
Joe?
Isaiah Joe?
It's really difficult.
That's so tough. That's so tough. I can flip a coin.
More minutes.
Or what about Kenny? Kenny Hustle?
I think we're kind of splitting hairs here.
We are harder than I thought it was going to be.
It's not like a teardrop, not TIER drop, not a floater,
not a teardrop tattoo.
I'm thinking Isaiah Joe or J. Will.
Let's do J. Will.
I'm fine with that.
And then Isaiah Joe.
Yes.
And then Kenrich. And then who are we missing?
Jared McCain.
J-Mac.
Oh, we haven't typed him out. Gotcha. Yep. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we have our list of 1 through 15. Once again, that 15 list is in order. SGA, J-Dub, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, Alex Caruso, AJ Mitchell, Lou Dort, Kaysen Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, Jay Will, Isaiah Joe, Kenrich Williams, Jared McCain, Nikola Topic, and Thomas Sorber.
Those are like 15. I mean, we haven't seen Sorber play, and we've only seen Topic play a game. But these are like 13 at least solid NBA players.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
All
okay,
right.
so next is we're going to start at 15 and work our way up.
Yep.
And we're going to ask the question, can the Thunder still win a title if this guy misses the playoffs? Now, we got two options we can go here, guys. We can make this very binary, yes or no, or we can do a scale, like a 1 to 10. Like, can they still win the title if Thomas Sorber doesn't play? 10 of 10, yes, they can.
Yep.
Can they win it if SGA doesn't play? 0 of 10, no, they cannot.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do a scale. 1 to 10.
Skills are fun.
All right.
Or 1
to 5.
Let's do 1 to 10.
Okay. 0 meaning you cannot survive the playoffs. 10
without
meaning
that person.
And 10 means you can.
no
Yep.
issue at all with them being gone. So Sorber would be a 10 out of 10.
Correct. And
Or 10 out
SGA
of
would
10.
be 0.
Yeah, Sorber's 10 out of 10. If he misses every game of the playoffs, it does not affect the Thunder's chances of winning a title.
No. Topic, I would say the same.
Agreed.
10 of 10.
Now it might be a little discussion with this next one. There might be a little
Jared
bit.
McCain. If Jared McCain were to miss the entire playoffs, could they still win a title? To me, you just flip-flopped Ousmane Dieng for Jared
Correct.
McCain.
Yeah.
He is a
He's a luxury.
luxury, not a necessity.
Correct.
No. But is it a 10?
Is it a 9 or a 10? I'd go 10 still.
I'd go
Even
10 as
though
well.
he
I
could
think it's gonna
make
be
a
good,
huge
but
impact.
this playoff run, I don't think really matters.
I think
Right.
You know, the dude's played like less than half an NBA season.
That's a great point.
Right.
Welcome to the club, says
It's like
the
forever.
other
I love it.
Thunder rookies from the past handful of years.
All right. Now we're into the top 12. These guys could play real minutes in the playoffs now. Kenrich Williams.
This is probably the tier you go to like a 9. If
I was
you wanna
thinking a
do
9
halves-
or an 8 here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind an 8.
I mean, Kenrich provides some huge sparks for this team when they're needed, both defensively and offensively, but also if there are any potential injuries. But if we're assuming health for all these players heading into the finals, another finals run, I'm still kind of at a 9, even though I think you could use him more, and maybe Mark should use him more, and that could help them throughout the playoffs. We also have seen what this team has been able to do when Kenrich doesn't get a ton of minutes.
Yeah.
I think I'd go 9.
9
Yeah.
fair. Very fair. All right, next one. Isaiah Joe.
So again, the question is, can the Thunder win a title without these players?
Yes.
Isaiah Joe was really impactful in round 1 and mildly impactful in round 2. Round 3 or 4 really disappeared just because the competition got more difficult. Would the Thunder have still won the Memphis series without Isaiah Joe?
Yes.
Yes.
Does it go more than 4 games? Could, right? So that for me puts this at like an 8, maybe.
I do feel like the playoffs could be more difficult this year, and you kind of need him to play better
Well,
season. So I don't know how to interpret that. 8 is probably.
part of me is torn with like what I argued for Kenrich being a 9, like not a 10. That being similar for Isaiah Joe. At the same time, I think what Isaiah Joe does bring to this team when healthy, and he potentially was not, or not potentially, he maybe was not last year during the playoffs. That 3-point shooting, that huge swing skill that the Thunder desperately needed last year in the playoffs. Like, I think it's fair to bump him up to an 8.
Yeah. I hope he's better in the playoffs this year. I don't want him to be like a playoff dropper. I don't think he is. He just needs another go at it. We'll see how it goes. All right. Top 10 now. Jay Will. Played some really important.
Yeah, this one is very fascinating because it's like so matchup dependent.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean?
Great point.
What's a team? Like, what's a team they can match up with where he would not play at all?
Not play at all, or just play a little bit?
Just play a little, like 5 minutes.
Like, I don't think he sees much time against the Spurs.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I do think he plays a lot against the Nuggets or the Rockets.
Agreed.
Yes. Don't know how much he plays against the Lakers.
Timberwolves, maybe
a bit against the Wolves. I don't know. I don't really think there's a spot for him against the Suns or the Warriors. So it's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
For that reason, again, he's not somebody. I mean, he obviously has a 3-point shot and he has some big threes in the playoffs, but where Isaiah Joe's swing skills, kind of that 3-point shooting, like we talked about, Jay Will obviously is able to step in certain matchups, play decent defense, and provide a little spacing offensively. I kind of think that's a similar tier. Do we want to go 8?
I was thinking 7 here, but
a little more. Okay.
Let's do 7.
All right. Okay. Number 9, Aaron Wiggins had some moments in the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
He's a guy that can get you a bucket when no one else can.
Right.
Saved basketball on multiple occasions in the playoffs.
I think for that reason. And we also saw throughout the playoffs, and I remember on this podcast actually being in Indianapolis with Jacob and a couple other of the fellas, and mentioning specifically Mark Daigneault pulling Aaron Wiggins because he couldn't defend in critical moments. That being said, to your point, Silva, he did show up when it mattered, when the Thunder didn't have any other offense going, especially when they were struggling from 3. So for that reason, I think we bump Aaron Wiggins up a tier and go to like 6 out of 10. Do you guys think 5?
You know what? I'm looking up his playoff stats from last year. This makes so much sense, and I don't know why. Like, it hasn't really set in till now. The Thunder's playoff series games last season by series 4-7-4-7. So they either played the least amount of games possible in a series or the most possible games in a series. Wiggins played in every single playoff game last year. His minutes per game, 13.8, 14.3, 11.8, 14.3. So pretty consistent across the board. I can't filter it by just last season on where I'm at right now, but I mean, fairly impactful. He shot the ball horribly. Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These stats are interesting. He took 11 shots in the Western Conference Finals, 43 shots against Denver. But that's the difference of 4 games and 7 games, I guess.
True.
He took 32 shots in 4 games against Memphis. That's how bad they beat Memphis's balls in. So
they had the Thunder figured out, though.
So
Aaron Wiggins, I think this is the 6. Nah, maybe a 7.
I'd keep him at J. Will, based off the stats you read off.
This feels like a
case, and I'm ready to jump up though.
Maybe J. Will should be at an 8 of 10, and Wiggins should be at a 7.
8 of 7. I like that.
It feels like there should be a jump there,
value,
right?
Their value is not the same.
Actually, I argued that. I argued that originally.
I know,
there we go.
I know.
All right. Now it's time to get
brainwashing me over here.
Time to get serious. Damn it!
This is where it gets fun.
Uh-oh.
And we got Nick joining us just in time.
Holy Nick Crane!
Hello,
big dog.
You're joining in at the perfect time, just as things start to get spicy.
All right.
So
Wait,
to
only
recap,
5
Nick,
minutes left.
to
Yeah, shit, man.
recap for Nick and for the listeners, we have a list of players, and we are ranking them on if they were to miss the playoffs, could the Thunder still win a title? So for Thomas Sorber, we gave a 10 of 10. Yes, they could still win a title if Thomas Sorber didn't play a minute. We gave Shai Gilgeous-Alexander a 0 out of 10 because if Shai misses the playoffs, the Thunder are not winning an NBA title, right? That it would be absolutely insane if that happened.
Yep.
We have worked our way through Sorber, 10 of 10, they can still win. Topic, 10 of 10, they can still win. McCain, 10 of 10, they can still win. Kenrich Williams, 9 of 10. Joe, 8 of 10. Jay Will, 8 of 10. Aaron Wiggins, 7 of 10. Nick, would you agree with those so far?
I think Joe's a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. But other than that, yeah, you guys are doing very well.
Do you agree with the player rankings?
I didn't catch that.
Guys first.
Yeah, now that you lay it out that way, my qualm with the Joe 8 out of 10, I'm not as concerned about because he's in the right spot on the order. So that's all good.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So we are on to number 8, Cason Wallace. Can the Thunder win a title if Cason Wallace misses the playoffs? A 10 of 10 means absolutely they still can. A 0 of 10 means they have no shot. Where does Cason Wallace fall?
It feels like 5 is the ceiling on this one.
That'd be generous.
Yeah.
That's kind of where
Like
I was at. My heart wants to say like a 5, but like my head says it's just a bump above Aaron Wiggins.
Never trust your head.
Always go with your heart.
My heart was saying like 4 or 5.
Oh, so when you said 5 was the ceiling, you're saying that was the lowest.
Yes. I think
I would.
Cason Wallace.
I could be convinced at 6.
Yeah.
Oh, and you could even go with like a 7 here.
No, I think 5 or 6 is probably my range.
Yeah. Okay. That's
he's
where I'm at.
extremely important, but he's also maybe the most redundant archetype this team has.
That is really well said.
He also has shot like shit for most of the season until this last few weeks. So it's like, are you getting any offense?
Just like everybody else in that archetype.
Just like everybody else. Yeah.
Cason Wallace played 22 and a half minutes a game in the playoffs last year. That is a significant jump up from it's the 7th best player. Not 7th best, 7th highest. That's a significant jump from Aaron Wiggins, who played 14 minutes a game. Yeah. So it's an 8.5 minute jump. Cason was tied with Isaiah Hartenstein. And then 2 minutes behind Alex Caruso.
And that bench lineup, again, we're talking about like when the Thunder are healthy. We haven't seen that very much this season. But when Caruso and Cason came in together, I mean, they like amplified each other. Their impact was felt, and they fed off each other defensively. I think 6 out of 10 is probably fair here.
Yeah, 5 or 6 is fine.
And if you want to make the 5 out of 10 argument, we're talking about 3-point shooting variance, but also potential injuries to the Alex Carusos and Lou Dorts.
I could be talked into 6 out of 10, but I do think we should do like a sweep after we score them all. Make sure we don't want to make any adjustments.
That's fair.
It's a good idea.
All right, I'll do 6 out of 10.
So we're on to Lou Dort.
Yes, we're on to Lou Dort. Very, very, very important player in the playoffs last year. As much as we all, or I can speak for myself, like to think less of Lou Dort as a player. It's mostly an aesthetic thing, I think. He is a very important player on the Thunder.
Can they win a title if Lou Dort does not play in the playoffs?
Wouldn't have last year, which is important to remember.
Yeah,
correct. I think they still could.
And weirdly, it was his offense that saved them. That's what I remember, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Like there are guys above him or below him in this who I think are better offensive players that just didn't do it.
That's kind of where I was thinking, Silva. Like I like where we have Lou ranked. amongst players. I also think it's fair to potentially rank him higher than some of the in terms of impact on a scale than where we have him ranked.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go in order here.
Right.
Yeah. And he I'm not saying he's been perfect in the playoffs, but he does have a reputation. Big game Lou, game 7 Lou.
Doherty 40.
He does do it in the playoffs, and I think that's the differentiator between him and Kaysen. Who would I rather have long term? Kaysen. Who would I rather have in the regular season on a random Tuesday? Kaysen. Who would I rather have in the playoffs for this team? That's a different conversation.
Agreed.
Well, and I think maybe, Nick, an even better way to say that is, who would I rather have in the playoffs in 2026?
Yes.
Is Lou.
Which is the exercise, right?
Good point.
Yeah, but
Let me throw a number at you.
we could get halfway through the second series and be like, oh, it needs to be Kaysen.
Correct.
Yeah, totally.
I think this comes down to the argument of the two. Like Nick said, Lou's had really big playoff games. He doesn't shy away from the moment. We haven't seen it from Kaysen. Kaysen's also much younger. I think Kaysen has a more consistent offensive game because of the ball handling and the ability to get to the basket and the passing. Whereas Lou is way streakier of a shooter, but when he's on, he can save you a series like he did in Game 5 against the Nuggets, right? Like Nick kind of said, I don't know if this sounds crazy. Is Lou Dort also is the most recreatable archetype on this team as far as a guard who can guard up, who can defend up?
I also think currently, again, we're talking currently, I think you both made really good points there to clarify that before we make this ranking. He's also more versatile right now than Kaysen Wallace. I feel much more comfortable
defensively.
with Lou. Defensively, yes.
Sliding up, yeah.
Correct.
I'm not gonna put Kaysen Wallace on LeBron full time in the playoffs.
That's exactly where I was going.
So
I would with
because of last season's playoffs and what we've seen from Lou and who we would want in a playoff series this year, I'm willing to go 4 out of 10 for Lou.
Oh, so maybe reframing this question is also an interesting way to rate this. If you give him a 5 out of 10, that means that if the injury report comes out pre-playoffs and it says Lou Dort will miss the entirety of the 2026 NBA playoffs, does that cut the Thunder's odds immediately in half to win the NBA title? Like if you go to the sports book, does it cut the odds in half?
No.
I don't think any of these, Aaron Wiggins wouldn't cut it 30% either. So I don't know if that's fully fair way to think about it.
Touche. I was just trying to throw something else out there.
It's another frame of reference. What is the single player? Your thought process is completely right. That's the way to think about it. I don't know if Vegas would think that way, but that is the right way. How does this one player impact your odds overall? I would go 5 or 6 here.
I would go 5 or 6 as well.
I think 5 works.
Okay.
Is he slightly more important than Kaysen Wallace?
Yes.
From what we've seen, that we could have a whole different conversation in June and be like, "Holy crap, Lou Dort unneeded. You're at 7."
I think what Jacob just did when he came up with this segment for us earlier in the week is an additional segment for us to revisit this after the Thunder's playoff run.
Yeah. This next one's really interesting.
Interesting.
This is Ajay Mitchell. The Thunder won a title without Ajay Mitchell last year.
Mm-hmm.
So the flip side is, I think that's the context here. They won without him last year. On the flip side, we've seen how critical he's been for this team. This season.
We've said all year, what if this Ajay Mitchell was on the title team last year?
Right.
I think he's become their third best creator easily. His absence has been felt for however long he's been out now, weeks.
Not to put a comment over Nick's beautiful face, but we did have a comment in the chat saying they are 5-8 this season without AJ, which is, again, good context about how impactful he's been this season. I think AJ's absolutely a 5 out of 10, which is why I kind of wanted to make Lou a 4, but I'd go 5.
This one's so fascinating to me because if you guys wanted to go 7 out of 10, I'd do it. And if
I'd
you
go
wanted
6.
to go 4 out of 10, I'd do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the challenging part is just we haven't seen it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it.
And I am a bigger believer in Ajay Mitchell than Isaiah Joe, but I would bet if we had done this exercise before the Thunder had that playoff run against the Mavs when they lost, and you had only really seen Isaiah Joe in the regular season, we probably were like raving about his spacing. What do you do in the playoffs? Again, AJ plays defense. Like there's a lot more reasons to believe he will translate to the playoffs, but we haven't seen it. Like we don't know.
We have no idea.
So will we put him on the same level as a Cason Wallace at a 6?
That feels
Or is
fair.
he as important as Lou?
Yeah. Well, and one caveat, we did see AJ in the finals, game 1. It did not go well. Not the same player now. He had no rhythm. But we can't say they didn't win a title, or they won a title without him last year because he did play. I'd go 6.
It does feel like
Usman Jang helped them win a title too, baby.
Yeah,
That's
Dylan
true.
Jones.
It does
NBA
feel
Always
champ.
have that ring.
Kaysen conversation. I like 6 out of 10. Kaysen, our conversation was like, well, we don't know what we're gonna get from him, but we know he's gonna play.
Yeah.
It feels like that.
Could
Similar.
be the same with AJ. Yeah.
Yep. The next name, Jacob's doppelganger.
Alex Caruso.
Why don't you lead us off, Jacob?
This is another interesting one. The Thunder absolutely last season, I don't think, won a title without this guy.
No.
They do not. He is a 16-game guy. He is a guy that is the difference between losing the Western Conference Finals in 5 and winning an NBA championship.
Correct.
Now, does that mean game in, game out, every game of the playoffs, he's going to be that dude? Not necessarily, but he is the type of guy that comes in and completely changes a playoff game. For reference, last season, Alex Caruso, 5th highest in minutes per game in the playoffs at 24. 4th in points at 9.2. Shot 45% from the field. Of guys that actually mattered, highest 3-point percentage on 4 attempts a game, 41%. He had 3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 2 steals a game, a plus 4.6, which was 5th best. He is essential to winning an NBA title.
Yeah, he was like the guy that got them settled into their identity in the playoffs when they otherwise may have looked a little bit lost or lacked energy.
Yeah.
Very, very
But
important.
now the other guys have NBA championship experience.
Yep.
Right. I think Alex Caruso is our first 4. But I also
maybe go
understand
3.
like Lou fans that are listening to this saying that Lou should be a 4 as well, because the Thunder equally needed hit. What was it? What was the game that he hit all those threes at home?
Game 5, I think.
Yes. And then obviously the Rainbow 3 that we'll always remember in game 7 in the second half. So that's kind of why I wanted Lou to also be a 4, but I think Caruso's a 4. Jacob, you say 3?
It's tough, man.
It is.
I think a 4 is fair.
4.
Nick, what do you think? Nick?
I'm trying to. It's a really hard one. I'm trying to think not only about what happened last year, though it's important context, but like actually, like if we got the notification tomorrow Caruso's out for the season, like would we really jump on this podcast and say, well, the Thunder only have a 4 out of 10 chance now? Like, I don't know. I just think that's still a little rich. Like I think
That's fair.
I think he's still
Can
a
they
5 out of
survive
10.
without Caruso? Yeah, you've convinced me, Nick.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting caught in the trap of comparing it to the last guy we did on this list and not
Agreed.
thinking of each person individually.
Yeah.
So I just did the same thing when you mentioned a 3, Jacob, because I looked at the names above and was like, if I want to bump iHeart to a 3, Alex Caruso is absolutely a 3. So I'm starting to think about this next name on the list a little differently. And I'm good going.
I think
with a 4.
Caruso out of 5 is okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't
It's
argue.
gonna hurt. It's going to hurt their odds.
Yeah.
To win a title.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
5 and not a 4.
I'd go a 5. I think a 5 is fine.
We can
Put him on the
revisit.
same-
We can revisit.
Okay, can I kick us off on this guy too?
Please do.
2 of 10.
Ooh.
Isaiah Hartenstein.
If
we aren't
Hartenstein,
given-
if Hartenstein doesn't play in the playoffs at all, I think they're cooked.
Yeah.
I think I may agree.
I want to bump up Caruso as well when I compare the two and their impact. I'm fine with the 3 here.
The thing is, you don't have Caruso, you still have Dort, you still have Wallace, you still have J-Dub. You still have these guys that can somewhat replicate that. If you don't have Hartenstein,
That's true.
that is the most unique archetype on the team and something that is very essential. If he is gone, we've seen what this team looks like without him. You just get absolutely bludgeoned
Destroyed on the
glass.
boards.
I don't
Great.
know what they do against Denver. They lose a series against Denver without Hartenstein.
Like
That's
they
a
just
really
can't-
good
they can't
point.
play big anymore. Like he's the guy that enables them to play big and match up with a team like Denver or Houston.
And stagger Chet and Ihart.
Yeah.
Also
It's
put
Chet on an island. If
positions of right, and put Chet in a position to succeed.
Yeah. So if Hartenstein's out and they fill that empty starting slot with Case and Wallace, which is what they've been doing, you are so much smaller. Jay Will's a great player. He ain't that guy.
you better
I'd go 2 or 3 on Hartenstein.
Yeah, you better hope you're just cracked from 3 the entire playoffs to win. That's the thought process I would be getting into. It's like maybe they'll just be hot for 3.
I struggle with 2 because we've seen really effective Chet at the 5 lineups.
But
Would
it's
it get-
spurts and not fully in the playoffs.
Sure.
Right.
And like this all of a sudden becomes matchup dependent. And how much does Chet get fatigued throughout the playoffs playing the 5?
Can you do it for 4 series?
Right. And that gets really hard, which is why the number should be small out of 10. I struggle with 2. I would go 3 or 4. I do think there's several scenarios in which the Thunder dictate style of play and force teams to go small, like against Denver. Like the reality is you're going to lose the Jokic minutes, or he's going to be. It doesn't matter who's on the floor.
Mhm.
Let's see Valanciunas play with Chet at the 5. Like there's two sides.
We
to the
have.
coin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Right.
He got
and
played off
so
the floor.
for that reason, I think there's still a couple of pathways, 3 pathways, 4 pathways out of 10 scenarios that Hartenstein being out, he would significantly hurt you. But I'd go 3 or 4.
I'm cool with 3.
Let's do 3.
Okay.
Chet Holmgren, All-Star. Maybe an All-NBA player. Who the hell knows?
All defense.
I think he might be a 0 or a 1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I was thinking 2.
I was wondering if you guys were gonna put him like there's a better chance they win a title if Hartenstein plays and Chet's out versus vice versa.
No.
I don't think that's the
No.
case due to versatility.
NBA Twitter
both
would tell you
floors.
some things, but like that
Yeah.
dude's defensive impact is freaking absurd.
Yeah.
Also, when Chet's playing offensively at the level we've seen this season, although it hasn't been consistent, but when he's locked in, playing assertive, it just brings
It's
a whole different
assertiveness,
aspect.
Taylor, but it's also he's just not the self-creator
No,
like-
correct.
fully. He needs to get set up a little bit.
Yep. Spot on.
I think it might be a 1.
I just don't like, as good as this Thunder defense is, and like we always talk about, they have like infinite all NBA, all defensive player level guys. It's not a coincidence the second Chet walked through that door, this team became an elite defense.
True.
Fair.
This is true.
Okay.
Let's
You're
do it.
talking
Let's
me
do a
into
1
one.
to 10.
Okay.
All right. We saw them go 24-1 without J-Dub.
Against
That
some
is not the
ass
playoffs.
teams.
That is
Yeah,
not
that's
the
true.
playoffs.
They got
Not
the
the
Kings
playoffs.
4 times in that 24 game spurt.
That'll do it.
They also had J-Dub 40 ball in
Yeah.
game 5 of the finals to carry them across the victory line. Just for reference, J-Dub played the second most minutes in the playoffs last season, 34.5 minutes a game. He averaged 21.5 points on 45% from the field with a bum wrist, 5.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals.
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
It's a
21, 5, 5, and 1.5 steals.
0.
While playing elite level defense. I think
0.
if they don't have him, I don't think they win an NBA title.
As much as the revisionist history would suggest the Thunder have won without him, he's been kind of underwhelming this year. It just, not to be a doomsdayer, if J-Dub's hamstring or wrist are not really solid come May and June, this team is going to, and I'm talking like the dude could play every game, and if he's not fully healthy, he might even be a 4 out of 10. Right, as a player active on the floor.
Yeah,
we're not talking about last year, but like he played so well. We were in the offseason talking like, is this guy a top 10 or 15 player? He played that well, and they barely squeaked by in one title.
Yeah,
but we didn't get the full J-Dub. He was playing with a wrist with a torn ligament in it,
and we still have.
And flip side, there were people trying to trade him after the Memphis series.
For sure. But he was still top 10 or 15 kind of
very,
player.
very volatile response to J-Dub last playoffs.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Speaking of volatility,
Nick,
though, like
you said
defensively.
If the wrist isn't good or if the hamstring isn't good, he might be playing like a 4 out of 10 out there. What was he playing at last offseason? Or last postseason with the bad wrist? Like what the flip side of that coin is, what if we go to the playoffs and his wrist is feeling the best it has in the past year and a half?
Yeah, I'm more worried about the hamstring.
And his hamstring.
Dude, he could get another 32 shots in his wrist this playoffs and probably be fine. Although I don't think it's a pain thing at this point. It's more of a flexibility. But regardless, I think his wrist is fine now after seeing that last game before the All-Star break. Like, he looked like vintage J-Dub. Hamstring, there ain't shit you can inject in that hamstring. If it's pulled, it's pulled. Like it's over.
And just the risk for
stick some
re-entry.
horse tranquilizer in there and let's get going.
Yeah.
if the hammy is healthy, we see a better J-Dub than 21-5-5 in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'll be talking crazy if that happens.
Now, before we go back and do some manual adjustments, now that we've got everything here, I think the biggest takeaway from this exercise, which is not meant to scare people, is the Thunder, from what I recall, I could be forgetting, had 0 injury misfortune in the playoffs last year. 0, when I recall. And we're sitting here saying their 8th man has an issue and we're 6 out of 10. Like, that's significant. That's the reason depth matters. Like, if Kaysen misses 6 out of 10, could somebody else step up? Absolutely. Like, it's not like
for sure. Like, if Kaysen misses, you throw AJ in there for another 6 or 7 minutes a game.
Totally.
Yeah. And
I think we've looked at each of these guys in a vacuum, where holistically it looks so much different. That this exercise is actually much more difficult than I originally thought.
And this is why everybody at the trade deadline, whenever we were spouting out names and everybody was picking them apart, like this guy would be the 10th man in the rotation. That's okay. That matters in the playoffs when you've got a really injured team. There's a real chance 2 of these top 8 guys miss game, 2 games, 3 games, a series. Depth matters.
Right. And Jacob, I that's the same conclusion I've come to now that we've like finished this list, at least before we go and revise it, like Nick was alluding to, because like I would argue that Hartenstein and Alex Caruso were equally impactful, maybe Caruso even more impactful last playoff run leading to the championship than iHeart, but it comes down to team construct. And it's so much more impactful to lose a iHeart, like you all argued, than to lose an Alex Caruso because of the depth and the pieces you have to fill that same kind of archetype.
Did you say lose AI Heart? Did you make an artificial intelligence version?
Lose an AI. We might need some AI if the Thunder keep getting hurt. Some AI players.
I'm coming to grips with the reality that if the Thunder don't repeat, it is probably going to be because their top 3 guys couldn't stay healthy throughout the whole playoff run again.
Yeah.
Like if they're going to be robbed of the repeat, I think health is going to be why they get robbed of the repeat. Like if everyone's healthy, I'm picking the Thunder
Yeah.
pretty confidently, but there's a reason why no finals team has made it beyond the second round for a while now.
Yeah. There's nothing that would suggest all of a sudden they'll be healthy right at the right time, April, May, June. It's just like we keep saying like, oh, this guy's got a week till he's back or 2 weeks till he's back, and then like by the time those guys there's like another batch of guys that are hurt. It's been a season from hell, truthfully, and I'm to the point where I just don't think there's a scenario where you've got your full 15 guys at your disposal. Like they're gonna have to get
not to take us down a rabbit hole, but just a quick aside that I haven't, like, when people ask me about the injuries and stuff, like I think I mentioned this last week on last Thursday's episode. This is the effect of a long postseason run leading to a championship, which is great, and then a shortened offseason.
Yep.
And that's why we're seeing these soft tissue injuries and not these like weird Chet hip, breaks his hip against the Warriors to start last season. It's just
also bad luck though. Like Ajay Mitchell played like 100 minutes in the last calendar year before obviously this season. Like I'm talking like last year, like before the offseason, he played 100 calendar minutes like the last year, and
then hurts his butt,
and abdomen,
and then hurts his abdomen.
It's like what's going on?
That's a good point.
All right, we should go through this because we're almost at an hour and 10 minutes. Rapid fire. We'll go. You want to go bottom up? Do a little quick reevaluate.
Bottoms up.
Do we need to spend any time on the 10 out of 10?
No.
Sorber, Topich, McCain, 10 out of 10. Kenny Hustle, 9 out of 10.
I think we may be able to put him 10 out of 10, to be honest. I don't know. Not like
the 9 feels like a risk.
On that.
He's going to provide some impact when the Thunder need it, so he deserves to be up.
I think off the pod, if Kenrich Williams had a season-ending injury, Silva would say, screw it. All right.
Right, but we're live right now, baby. Isaiah Joe, 8 out of 10. Shit, if he keeps playing like he's been playing, that could
could jump.
But judging based off of results, 8 out of 10.
And he did have a wrist injury last year in the playoffs. That doesn't impact his defense, but did impact his shooting. He did shoot well, but I think that his volume was not there. He wasn't firing away like he is right now.
Agreed.
Jay Will, 8 out of 10.
He was pretty nice against Jokic last year, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We said it was very situational.
Yeah.
All right. Wiggins, 7 out of 10. That feels right.
Yeah. I think that feels right for the reasons we gave.
Case and Wallace, 6 out of 10.
This is the first I kind of want to bump up to a 5. So that way we can move 2 other players above him up to a 4.
I see what you're doing.
We have none fours. We have 0 4s.
Is there a world? That's maybe a dumb question.
Multiverse.
Because of course there's a world.
We're living in it.
There's a chance Case and Wallace could start over Lou Dort in the playoffs.
I'd be very surprised.
What's that world?
Lou Dort's hurt? Not very good.
Like assuming health, I think it would be more so he's.
I don't think they'd make a starting lineup change, but is there a world where Case and Wallace plays more minutes per game than Lou in the playoffs?
Oh yeah,
we're talking.
Not last year.
No,
you sure
that Kaysen played more than Lou?
I think we looked
might have
looked it up.
I'm pulling it up right now.
I think if there is a lineup change, it has to be because there's first or second round adversity. And it happens in one of those first 2 rounds. If they just blow the doors off their first 2 rounds, they're not just going to like make a change in the West Finals or.
Lou played 29 minutes per game. Kaysen played 22 minutes per game.
Oh wow. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. How do we feel about changing this to 5 out of 10, and then knowing we might bump up some other numbers?
It's fine. If you believe Case and Wallace is going to be a big contributor this year, then it should be a 5.
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Okay. Lou Dort, do we maintain the 5 out of 10?
Does that mean AJ bumps down to the 7th slot or 8th slot, whatever that is?
No, I was referring to Lou and or Caruso bumping up to a 4. I'm fine keeping Lou at a 5.
I'd be cool.
I would bump him up at a 4, but Caruso bumping up to a 4. That's where I'm at.
I'd be fine with Caruso at a 4.
I'm not saying that to make the change. I'm throwing that out there for debate and consensus.
Anyone opposed to Caruso being changed to a 4 out of 10?
I'm never going to argue against
not strongly enough to fist fight Taylor over it.
Let's go.
Bullying works.
This is feeling right.
I like that.
Kaysen
we have 1 4 out of 10, 1 5 out of 10 if we keep Lou at 5.
Kaysen and Lou equal importance. AJ more of a luxury at the 6 out of 10. Caruso 4 out of 10, the only 4 out of 10. Pretty important player, as we saw last year. Guarded Jokic. Hartenstein 3 out of 10. I thought about a 2 out of 10 for Hartenstein, but it's probably not that.
Before I got just one caveat here.
Okay.
I'd like you guys to name the top 3 players in the playoffs last season. Hold on. Hold on.
The suspense is killing me.
No, I got it. There's always the outlier data, so I got to do that. I'm gonna make sure my calculations are 1, 2, 3.
Extrapolating 4. Outlier data.
Top 5 players and plus minus from last year's playoffs.
Oh, shit.
For the Thunder?
Just for anybody.
Oh, gosh. I have no clue.
Just start throwing some names.
Chet Holmgren.
Okay.
Shai.
Chet Holmgren. If you remove Tristan Thompson, who was somehow a plus 9 in 3 games, was 5th.
Okay.
Give me another
Shai.
play. No, sir.
Whoa.
Chet Holmgren had a better plus minus than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the playoffs.
Nikola
That's
Jokic.
interesting.
That was my point. We don't have to go through all 5. I just wanted to
Well,
now you got to tell us
you
the
guys.
5.
What's
the other Thunder player I was
Jason
gonna throw out was
Tatum,
Caruso.
Ty Jerome, Jared Allen, Isaiah Stewart, Chet Holmgren.
Oh, wow.
Several
Point
dudes that
being,
last.
my only pushback, maybe we should consider Chet a 0. Was my whole point of that exercise.
That's
2 years in a row.
There.
In that Maverick series, the Thunder lost. I think Chet was number 1 in plus minus in that one too.
very fair.
You're cooking there.
They win his minutes a lot.
I'm not going to
But he
argue
only
that.
had 11 points and 5 rebounds. That's what everyone will say on Twitter. But
I
yeah,
think-
he was the best player on the floor. He won all his minutes.
That is great
Yeah.
context.
This is looking good. This is a good exercise. Great idea.
Yeah.
Jeff.
And I'm really excited to revisit it after the playoff run this year.
All right. We did it, everybody.
Good Thursday pod.
So now when the injury report comes out before the playoffs, reference this to know how much you should panic.
No, your emotional take on all this when it really happens will be very different than your rational take now. That's why you should be grounded in your rational take now and not react to your emotional later.
Yep. It's true.
Save this as your screensaver on your phone, because when it happens, remind yourself.
Yeah. Dude, I still have a
love it.
hard time watching highlights from the finals run. Like when I watch them, I get transported back to the anxious state I was in when I was watching those games.
I'm the opposite. I'm just watching it with pure bliss.
I saw on Twitter
Like,
someone
oh yeah, I remember that. I blacked out because of anxiety, and
Yeah.
this is kind of fun to watch again.
bro, look at this legacy game from SGA, and I watch it. And I'm like, I can't watch this shit.
I think there's not that this one, if they wanted the game, would like not be impressive. I think that there's the first one in franchise history when all you've heard your entire life is they had the big 3, they couldn't win it, best team to never win it, yada yada yada. The Thunder, and like you've seen the Paul George teams that couldn't get out of the first round, and like you're sitting here thinking like, can this franchise ever actually win a title? Like, are they capable? Getting over the hump for that the first one felt like they're over the hump. Not to say that like the fan base should be happy if they don't win it again. Like it would be sad if the Thunder didn't win it if you're a Thunder fan. But like that first one, I don't think any's ever going to hit like that did.
No.
Can you imagine how upset how much more panicked we would be on the podcast this season.
Oh,
after that
I mean,
24
imagine
to
every
1
pod we've ever
start.
done.
Oh,
They
and
lose to
then
the
they-
Nuggets in
yeah.
the Western Conference Finals,
Oh
and
my
then the
God.
Nuggets go make all these moves, and they're even better. Like, yeah, it'd be
And the
train
Thunder
wreck.
still have all these health issues this year.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Exactly.
You all we'd be talking about is last year was the year they were fully healthy. They couldn't
Yeah,
get it done. They're never going to do it.
Exactly. Nick, really quick, I know we need to get out of here, but Smoot has asked twice now. How was All-Star Weekend in LA? Looked
Very
pretty cool.
spaced out. Everything is $120 of an Uber and 90 minutes away. Is what you learn.
God.
It's not like that's what you appreciate about like OKC and even like Dallas to some degree, Tulsa. If you need to get somewhere, you can get there. Like it's not that hard to get there.
It's like 25 minutes to go anywhere.
Yeah, and like Intuit Dome is in Inglewood, not even in LA. I didn't even sniff downtown the entire weekend. Like LA proper, did not even go there. But all the events and parties and stuff they're so spread out. My Uber home on Friday night was like 140 minutes to get home, and it was in LA. Yeah, it was like I could have driven to OKC almost in that time. You know, to OKC to Dallas is 2 hours and
Literally
40 minutes. It was awesome. I think they got work to do on All-Star Saturday night. They have found something with the All-Star game. I think there's really something there. I think 2028 All-Star game before the Olympics will be effing electric because those guys are actually going to be going to each other's throats thinking about the Olympics coming up. I think they figured something out. If they implement some 1-on-1, 2-on-2 next year, cut some other stuff, I think they might be onto something.
Put the Rizzler in it.
Dude, I saw the Rizzler. I sent you guys the picture. Okay, listen to this. I'm leaving Intuit Dome. Okay, this is Sunday after the All-Star game. Trying to get to my Uber pickup to go to the airport, and there are women screaming like, "Oh my gosh, look who!" And they're like all pulling their phones out, and I'm like, "Is it Brad Pitt or something?" I'm like trying to find who they're looking at, and like, should we get a picture with them? I'm like, who are you talking about? I look over. It's
you
the
look
Rizzler,
down.
like
The Rizzler.
Rizzler's like walking across the sidewalk with this little entourage, and I was like, oh my god, that dude's got some
cooked.
Riz, no pun intended.
He's gonna be messed up when he gets older.
Oh, he will be. Poor guy.
Messed up. Yeah.
Poor guy.
Poor guy. He's rich as hell though. All right, we gotta get out of here.
Think he'll ever smoke crack?
Absolutely. He probably already has. Thanks for listening to our Thursday.
The crackler.
The Crackler. We'll be back Sunday to talk
Wow, 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 wow.
The
basketball.
methler.
What else? Is there any other drugs we can attach to
The
the child?
heroiner.
Hardly know her. All right. We'll be back Sunday. Thanks for listening. Thunder up. Adios.